Gerard's ClearTech. And I'm Gerard. And on this channel, we cover a variety of topics: software development, commercial IT, consumer-grade technology products, just fun things related to technology. If it's related to technology, we cover it and we make it clear. And on this show, we have one of those fun topics: Cyberpunk 2077. This game has had a lot of interesting conversation around it since it's been released. A lot of trouble running on the last generation consoles, been pulled from the Sony store, Microsoft offering refunds. One of the biggest games of the last 18 months, and it's released horribly. The question is, on PC can it run? But even more so, can it run on a 4-year-old laptop? Okay, this is not just any laptop. This is a gaming laptop. So we're looking at Razer's Razer Blade, specifically the Razer Blade 14-inch, the late 2016 model. And part of this question is around, if you're buying a high-end gaming laptop, in particular when Razer came out with these easily portable, more easy to use, not as bulky, not as egregious laptops, they were really looking at, wink wink, the MacBook Pro. How could they turn that into a usable Windows machine that really is gaming capable? So we have this gaming capable laptop. What happens after you own it 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? You're paying a premium price, typically over $2,000 on a laptop. What happens 4 years down the road? Well, we have a flagship game that's power hungry. It wants a beefy machine. Can you run it on a 4-year-old laptop? That's what we're going to find out. We're running this on a late 2016 model of the Razer Blade 14. That's running with an Intel 6700 H-Cube processor, along with a NVIDIA GTX 1060. For the other part of this, we're going to use an eGPU and the Razer Core V2, and inside of that, we're going to be running a desktop version or a full-size version of the NVIDIA GTX 1070. So for this experiment, we're going to run this through a couple different scenarios. The first scenario is we're going to run it on this laptop natively. So that's right here, this monitor. To view it, this is going to be from a over-the-shoulder camera angle so you guys can see as it's being used. We're not going to use any on-computer recording. That's why we're going to use a separate camera at that point, so that we're not affecting the performance whatsoever of the system running it. After that, this next scenario is we're going to use the local graphics processor here and CPU, but we're going to use external monitor. So we got a couple monitors here, a couple specifications we can run it against. And then lastly is we have a Razer Core extension, so that's an external GPU. All right, so we've got the game launching. Let's see here. See if it's just still loading. Almost looks like my mouse died. It didn't. Just was taking a little time to load up there. All right. Initial load time was a little long. Well, look at this. I mean, I have not seen, and I've actually played this game probably for about 30 hours. But I put in about 30 hours already before deciding to film this video. And I have not seen a glitch this hard yet. I mean, it literally showed nothing on those menus. Wow. All right, launching the game again because the last launch didn't go very well. All right, we got the game launching here, and here pretty much immediately the fan kick in. So it's not gonna run cool. Actually, if you don't know that much about these laptops, one of the biggest downfalls of them is sticking a decent CPU in there, trying to stick a GTX 1060 in there, and this was one of the first years where the NVIDIA tried to make the mobile processors as close to the desktop processors as possible, downclocking them and using a couple other things like that, but for all intents and purposes, it's much more similar to the desktop processor than they've ever been. Well, this is a pretty thin laptop, so it doesn't take long before the thermals to kick in, and you can already hear that fan. It's blaring, and I'm pretty sure it's going to get louder as we go on.
So now we have switched to the external display. So we're passing through the recording device. Well, the Razer wasn't too happy with that approach. Going to go ahead into the next scenario. Running the laptop through the pass-through recorder to an external monitor with the internal display of the laptop turned off reliably resulted in blue screens of death. It blue screened 4 times in a row. I could not get the game to launch in that scenario. All right. So there it is. So now we're running with the Razer Core V2. We're running with the laptop passing through the recorder. The same scenario that was crashing before when we tried to run through this display without using the Razer Core. So somehow using the HDMI port directly on the laptop out through the recorder was causing consistent crashes. But using this laptop, and I'm using the USB-C Thunderbolt port that connects down into the Razer Core V2, and then the HDMI port off of the GTX 1070 into the recorder, no problems. AI was being a little goofy there. I was trying to do a counterattack and he wouldn't swing. He just kept running into the wall. No attacks whatsoever. I'm like, you gonna attack me? You gonna give me a chance to do anything? No? Okay. We were able to see that this game is playable with and without the Razer Core eGPU that was fitted with the NVIDIA GTX 1070. Using the laptop standalone with high textures and low graphics presets was the best configuration. However, we did see FPS spikes into the undesirable range. Using the same settings with an eGPU and 1070, we could see much better FPS range and hovering right around the low 40s. And no gameplay bothering spikes. In other words, we didn't fall into the 20s. We hung out with spikes lowering into the 30s. Unfortunately, you don't get a flagship gaming experience, and the results can leave you wishing for more. But it was a playable game. Lastly, this was all done on patch 1.04, so there have been some new patches that have come out on the game. If you like what you saw here today, please like, comment below, and subscribe to get notified of future content. Until next time, Curious Tech out.